What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, let's do this. Q&A part 9. Actually, before we do this, did anyone notice that I've got a fan page? I have a fan page, people, on Instagram. And before anyone asks, no, I did not set that shit up myself. I told my mum, and she was like, Tokumbo, did you do this thing yourself? I was like, Mum, why the hell would I set up my own fan page? I am not that way inclined. So go and check it out and support it. I have a fan page, people. Secondly, and this has nothing to do with the Q&A, but I need to get this off my chest. I'm a bit late to the party. Peaky Blinders. Bloody hell. How good is that? Is it just me? I mean, how good is it? It's phenomenal. The best thing about missing or not watching a series when it comes out is that you can now watch it in bulk. So all my nights are spent watching that. Sad, I know. But it has to be. I mean, it's up there with Luther in The Line of Duty. It's up there with those two. Luther in The Line of Duty. And what's the other one? What is it? There's another one as well. The Bodyguard. Boop. All right, let's get to the Q&A as well before we waste time anymore. I think I've got a couple of questions via email. Let's have a quick look. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss these. I missed these last time. I felt bad. All right. Jam Murdo says, who are your top 3 UK trainers in order for footwork? Oh, for footwork. I don't know about being that specific, but I'll give you my top 3 UK trainers. So if I had a prospect coming through, these are the 3 trainers I would want with my prospect. Dave Coldwell. I just like Dave Coldwell. I just think he's a great guy. Which helps, by the way. Which helps. Dave Coldwell. Who else? Shane McGuigan. I like Shane a lot. I think we all can see what he's doing with Josh Taylor and Luke Campbell. Even George Groves before George Groves got beat by Callum Smith. So Shane McGuigan and Adam Booth. I mean, Adam Booth mentally will get you fucking correct. So those are my top 3 in the UK. And all of them, to be fair, all of their guys have good footwork, apart from Joe Joyce. Any more? Email. I felt also another one. What's this one? Is this an email question? All right, no. John James says, hi, Addy, good stuff in your channel, and thanks for taking the time to do what you do. I'm hoping my question isn't too late. It's not. Here we go. So last night I had a dream, and you and I were mates, i.e. talking and having a laugh. I'm so happy you said that last sentence because I was about to not read out the rest of the question. You're asking me which football club I support, and I answered none. I just watch and enjoy football. I only support a team if I have a bet on. Question is, who is the last person you saw in your dreams you haven't met in person? If you can't remember the last person, anyone would do. Beyonce. We're not going to get any deep or further into why, but it was Beyonce. Yeah. Next question. Ian Hamilton. This is on Twitter now. I've got to shout out Ian Hamilton. We disagree sometimes, but he always sends in questions. Literally from the get-go. He was upset last time out when I didn't read these questions on Twitter. So here we go. Ian Hamilton. What are your top 5 Disney films? I don't really watch Disney films. I don't. So that's your first question done, right? Top 3 film villains ever. He says, for my information, he's is the Joker, the Heath Ledger version. You say the Joker, the Heath Ledger version. Have you seen the trailer with, is it Joaquin Phoenix playing the Joker? Looks fucking ridiculously good. Scar, Lion King, and Thanos. Mine would be, I don't know what his name was in the film. What's his name in real life? Fuck, I can't remember his name in real life. But the guy that played the villain in the film Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. What a film. Woo! What a film. He wasn't really a villain, but again, it's that same guy, Kevin Spacey, that's his name. The way he played the role in Usual Suspects. And, can't beat this one, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 1. Come on, mate, come on. His next question, despite Sir Alex making United dominant, even though you're at LFC, what would your 3 questions be to him? the hunger to keep going. So it's not even one, it's more of a sit down, the hunger to keep going and keep rebuilding. Every manager seems to struggle, and I think Jose Mourinho is a great example of a manager that comes in, has one squad, hence why he only stays for 2 or 3 years, and then can't rebuild, then goes. So Alex Ferguson rebuilt after rebuilt after rebuilt. I mean, he must have had like 15 different teams. It was unbelievable. I mean, again, Liverpool, but you got to respect, right? If The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin were the two heels, if The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin were the two leads in a film, would you have one be the protagonist and the other the antagonist, or both team up towards the end to make it more epic? Nah, you've got to have The Rock as the goodie and Stone Cold as the baddie. I mean, Stone Cold could never be a goodie in a movie. This won't make sense. I know he's done that. The WWE do their films and they're shocking. As you seem to spend a lot of time in Africa, as a lion lover myself, have you ever seen any of the animals we normally see in documentaries in Africa? I have. I've been on a few, so I wouldn't even call them safaris because they're not really, but in South Africa. And it's just epic and scary being that close to them. But it's almost good seeing them in the wild, if that makes any sense. I don't know how enclosed it was, but it wasn't like fucking London Zoo. I mean, they're not supposed to be in a London Zoo. It's disgraceful. It's absolutely disgraceful. All right. Okay, no, he's got a last question here. Personal question. What was your dad like? As you mentioned him a lot. My dad was... Basically, my dad's the reason I support Liverpool. For those of you that don't know. So, John Barnes. I don't know. It might have been because John Barnes is black. I guess it was. But coming over... he supported Liverpool because of John Barnes. I then supported Liverpool. He made me watch. My dad, although very Nigerian, African, came over here and just loved the kind of traditional kind of British sports. So snooker and darts. And I then became massive snooker fan, massive darts fan. So one thing about my dad, I will say this, is massive sport lover. And it's a shame he's not alive now. So it'd be good to have like conversations with him about sport. Love boxing as well. All right, let's get into the Q&A properly. No disrespect to those questions. They were Q&A, but I'm talking about the ones on YouTube. Jeez, how many have we got? 191 comments. Ain't gonna happen, is it, people? Isn't gonna happen. Apologies in advance. Avi Skoll says, who do you have as the top 5 greatest sportsmen of all time? Mine is Ali, Pele, Federer, Jordan, Phelps. Ali, Pele, Federer, Jordan, Phelps. I would definitely say Muhammad Ali. Definitely. I mean, individual sports have to be. I think any individual sportsman, and no disrespect to footballers, and they have to be up there as the best, surely. So Pele, Muhammad Ali, Roger Federer. My love for Michael Johnson is crazy. I don't know why. Michael Johnson. Serena Williams definitely has to be up there for me now. I mean, if you're bored, just go on Wikipedia and check what Serena Williams has won. Frightening. So what we got? We've got Muhammad Ali. What did I say? Muhammad Ali, Michael Johnson, Roger Federer, Serena Williams, Tiger Woods. That might change tomorrow. Doodle Bob says top 5 fights to be made in middleweight, welterweight, and heavyweight. I'm not going to name 5 in each weight class, but let's go and think of the 5 out of that lot. Heavyweight, I still want to see Wilder Joshua, I guess. I don't know why. And Joshua versus Fury. Just for the UK side and perspective, Joshua versus Fury, regardless of that Joshua's lost or not. Imagine that at Wembley. Welterweight, I want to see Spence versus Crawford like every other human being on this planet. That will be a good fight. I also want to see Amir Khan, Kell Brook. Call me mad. Middleweight, I'm tired of it all in middleweight, to be honest. But what I really want to see is Demetrius Andrade versus Charlo. Just because them two absolutely despise each other. So that'd be good. Avi Scholes asked another question. Said, hi, Addy. Who do you see winning in the Wilder versus Fury rematch? Tough one. I'm going to lean towards Wilder. I think we know it only takes one. I mean, I don't know. They're both each other's kryptonite, but I'm going to lean towards Wilder. Josh. Dominic Cecier says, how often would you watch fights back again? A lot. Can't lie to you, quite a lot. I could watch the same fight back 10 times? Bored 10 times? It's bad, right? Pretty Boy Flizzy says, your opinion of the UFC in 2019 in general, just been so uninterested in the UFC this year. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, there's still decent matchups, like Max Holloway, Brian Ortega was a good matchup. Nunes, Cyborg was a good matchup. But it's just, I don't know, the Conor McGregor factor's massive. Say what you want about Conor McGregor. People say he does this, he does that. He just brings eyes onto the sport. And I feel like everyone just raises their game in terms of their media game as well when Conor's about. There is talk about him coming back in September. So let's see what he can do. But let's not forget as well, I mean, there are kind of breakout stars like Jorge Masvidal and others like that as well. So it's not that bad, but it's fucking better than boxing. I'll tell you that now. What's a fight you can never get bored watching? Hagler Hearns. Hagler Hearns. I must be 1,000 times. You know exactly what's going to happen. I know exactly what punch. I know exactly the foot movement. I know the duck. I know the jab. Still watch it because it's just, it takes me back to a time when men were men. All right, Jake Adkins says, have seen people call Progress versus Taylor as a poor man's Spence Crawford. Do you see the comparison? How do you think the fight plays out? That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. I think it's better than that. Two unbeaten fighters. Both have belts. You can make an argument that am I saying his name right? Am I butchering it? But you can make an argument that Progress is number one. Taylor, I think, is number 3. I actually had Taylor as number 2 until I saw Ramirez on the weekend. So Taylor is number 3. It's a good matchup. It's a good matchup. I actually favor Progress to beat Taylor. I do. Taylor's got a hope that he doesn't have to travel. If Progress comes and it's in the UK, then maybe. But my prediction is that Progress beats Taylor, if that's his name. Angel Blackwell X says, I have 10 questions, all of which are, what happened to Ryan? Ryan only lives like 15 minutes. So I'm pointing like that, like you guys know where I'm pointing to. So I live in Stratford, Ryan lives in Leighton, so it's not too far away. I get that question so many times, and I'm going to shock you all when we're going to do a video and Ryan's going to be right there. All right, let me just kind of clarify what happened, because I get this question a lot. So I don't know if you guys know, but me and Ryan had a channel called Box Talk. It was a great channel as well, by the way. Loved it. Ryan's knowledge of boxing, second to none. Anyway, I moved to Nigeria and it became quite difficult to film. Just because basically we couldn't do split screen. It was awkward. It just got quite difficult to film. So I started the channel, or continued to do videos on the channel myself. But it didn't seem right because the channel was me and Ryan's. So me uploading videos, talking was kind of like, wasn't fair on Ryan. So I came back and decided to do my own channel. To be fair though, I thought Ryan was actually going to start or continue Box Talk, but he stopped. And that's it. So I'm just doing my own channel and making my own videos. Me and Ryan, I tell you, not even lying to you, we will do another video. There is no beef. He's like my older brother. Sometimes you have little fights with your older brothers, obviously. But Ryan is like the kind of friend you beg for. So trust me, no issue. Milfy Swinbuckle says, throughout your years watching boxing, what have been your biggest disappointments? E.g. guys who have lost, guys caught cheating, fights that never happened. Also, how long do you think drug cheating dates back in boxing? Since the beginning? Since the beginning. I mean, boxing is and was ran by the mafia. So, and there was a lot of money to be made from illegal sort of bookies back then as well. So you can imagine how much money was put on a drug cheat. I mean, fucking hell. Can you imagine what it was like in the 50s and 60s with no drug testing? God forbid. And you say guys who have lost, guys. I don't ever get too upset about guys losing, especially if they're fighting the people they should be fighting. I'm more upset about fights never happening. That's the thing that annoys me more than ever. And I guess now it annoys me, more than ever, because there are so many different TV companies and TV networks and promoters and managers, and these fights now that probably would have been made in the 80s with Mr. Don King, right? He seemed to run the show, just ain't going to be made now, and it's disappointing. Very disappointing. Seb Owen says, who wins in a mega fight between Prime Floyd versus Prime Sugar Ray Leonard? It's very difficult because Prime Floyd was 135 pounds, I think. Prime Sugar Ray Leonard, maybe 147. But if it was at 147, so the best Floyd at 147 versus Prime Sugar Ray Leonard. Prime Sugar Ray Leonard all day for me. Although Floyd, I mean, take away the way he acts outside the ring. Floyd just is a phenomenal boxer. Phenomenal. I think one question earlier asked me how many times I sit back and watch fights. I watch Floyd fights religiously and just think, my God, what he would do to all these so-called big welterweights. Prime Floyd versus Errol Spence. Don't make me laugh. Henry999 says, who would you say will be known as the best heavyweight in 18 months' time? What a good question. 18 months' time. Boy. Usyk. Avi Skull says, in your opinion, what is the ideal amateur experience to take in to the professionals? Consider age, records, national experience, etc. That's a very, very good question, Avi. Because there's arguments that you spend too long in the amateurs, like Vasil and Gennady Golovkin, 300, 400 fights. I think almost 150 fights. Traveling, so, you know, i.e. doing the Olympics, doing the World Championships, fighting different styles. Countries have different styles. There's definitely a European style, Mexican style, obviously American style. So I think gaining that experience and maybe turning pro when you're about 23, 24. So you've got your man strength. Yeah, but it's a tough question, that one. Ivy Skull says, again, hi Addy, really enjoyed the showreel video. Hope to see more and more in the future. Thank you, brother. MKWX Ben 1966 says, what is the best Dillian White outcome? As I understand it, number one, he known he took something. Boy. Number two, he took something, tried to get it checked, but didn't get clearance. Number three, he took something unwittingly, like his first ban. And number four, both he and Rivas failed the test. Probably number three, he took something unwittingly, like his first ban. At this stage, hope I don't get sued. I just think he cheated. At this stage, he took something that was in his system that shouldn't have been in his system. Simple fact, right? Let's cut the bullshit, we all know. Mr. Ish T says, I'm hoping Hearn does something special with Hughie Fury. What do you think? I made a video about this saying it's not going to be Povetkin, but I got an email today from Matchroom, because I'm on their press list. I said there's obviously going to be a press conference for Hughie Fury tomorrow to announce his opponent. I mean, Eddie normally just sends out a tweet, right? I mean, a whole press conference. I mean, it could be someone special. I mean, you don't do a press conference for a Polish plumber. Sorry to all my Polish people watching this, but you don't, right? So it might be someone special. Imagine this. Imagine Hughie Fury is fighting Povetkin and his cousin, the lineal champ, the #1 recognized heavyweight in the world, is fighting Charles Martin. Go figure. Patman says, what do you think the heavyweight division would look like now if a zero tolerance rule had been in place forever? Once you're caught, you're out forever. Well, that gets rid of Tyson Fury. That gets rid of Povetkin, Ortiz, Dillian White. Who else has done something? I can't remember. Jarrell Miller. Jeez. I mean, the only one I trust up there is bloody Andy Ruiz. CJPA says, if GGG and Pirog had fought each other, who would have won? For those of you that don't know who he's talking about Dimitri Pirog, who was a middleweight who beat Danny Jacobs, took Danny Jacobs' belt and unbeaten record, but just got injured, so had to call it quits. I actually don't think he's officially retired, by the way, but he hasn't fought since then. Golovkin. Golovkin was a monster. Oh, frightening monster. He's had a couple of bad performances and everyone's forgot how good he was. Frightening. Lee O'Brien says, Ade, at the time of writing this, there were 91 questions ahead of me. So I hope my question is answered. You're lucky. I don't know what order I'm doing these in, so you're question in. Anyway, my question is that I'm interested in starting my own YouTube channel. Good. And I want to know what editing software, camera, mic you use for your content. Good, my man. Okay, so initially, editing software was iMovie. I still do use iMovie sometimes, but I've now kind of gone on to Premiere Pro, where you can, it's expensive, Premiere Pro, but you can do a monthly payment of like £19 a month. So I do that. Camera, my Samsung S8, I use that, and I use an app. Rather than use the inbuilt camera, which isn't that good, I use an app called Open Camera. It's free. My mic is called what's my mic called again? A Boya M1. I got this from Amazon for £12. So there you go. Good luck, bro. Castle View Promotion says, Tyson Fury, when will we find out if he's the real deal? He may have all the skills plus old school showmanship, but do we see the real Tyson Fury? Not for me. Not for me. I'm getting a bit bored and tired of it, if I'm honest with you. I'm not accepting fight someone tough, then fight 5 bums. Then fight someone tough, then fight 5. No. I mean, Tyson Fury likes to harp on about being like a throwback fighter. Those throwback fighters had tough fight after tough fight after tough fight. Don't get me wrong, a couple of gimmies in there, but majority of it was tough fights. Tyson Fury is doing this thing, which I think is actually quite easy, where you fight someone difficult, then you have 3 gimme fights, then fight someone hard. Then you keep repeating that. I don't like it. Mohamed Larousi says, what's next for White if he's found innocent? A good fight. But it's not even a case of him being found innocent because, I mean, we know categorically that there were drugs in the system. So I think more questions need to be answered. It's not a case of UKAD or the British Boxing Board of Control saying you're innocent, move on. I think fans still want to know what was in your system, how it got in your system, why it was in your system. And once we get good answers from those, I think we can all move on. But right now, boy, not sure. Ninja Squirrel says, is that armchair vintage or is it modern with distressed rips to make it look aged? This is actually vintage, people. Me and my missus, ex-missus, sorry, about 9 years ago, started buying and selling these. So we started buying and selling these to the point where we actually had a showroom in Bermondsey of all old and vintage. I've actually got a vintage sofa there as well from I'd say that sofa's about from the 60s. So yeah, I actually can make these. Crazy. David Chester says, Ade, what's the end game for you, dude? Love the content and would love to see you on TV in the UK. I have absolutely no idea what the end game is. Honestly, even when I started this channel, I didn't expect anywhere near, I think it's like 16,000 subscribers now. It was just to sit down, have some fun and talk. Right now, there are opportunities out there. Like I am going to Senegal next month to work with Fox Sports for a month. I might be doing some stuff with Channel 5, so you never know, right? All I'm doing is trying to live. Michael Wilson says, does Tank need to improve the opponents or is he just great? What a question. Because I think we are getting a bit excited. You know what? Tank's last opponent, I don't think he had a fight in 2019. He fought in 2018, and I believe he fought a guy who had something like 35 losses. Just saying. G-Man Boxing. Guys, go and follow, subscribe, or at least go and check out G-Man Boxing's YouTube page. Does a good job with boxing, knows his stuff as well. He asked a question. If Anthony Yard beats Sergey Kovalev, what do you think the follow-up interview with Tunde would be like? Oh my God. If Anthony Yard goes over there, and I'm starting to get on the Anthony Yard will knock Kovalev out bandwagon, just because I'm hearing that Kovalev is a complete drunk. But if Anthony Yard goes over there and knocks him out, or just even beats him in Russia, that Tunde interview will get like 1 million views because he will destroy everybody. Everybody. Especially those like, I think Darren Barker and, what's that guy's name again? I forgot his name. Heavyweight. Dave Allen were taking the piss about his pad work. Yeah, just saying. Everyone like that should hide. Kane Cottrell says, Pac-Man. Where is he after beating a legit opponent in Furman? A great fight too. It was a great fight. I think we forget about that. Furman put up a very, very good performance. Furman hit Pac-Man with some shots that I don't know how Pac-Man stood up, put it that way. I said this, I think I said it at the time, that Pac-Man's top 10. Regardless of my conspiracy theories with Pac-Man, put all that aside, Pac-Man's resume, and this is a new era again, this is another era he's fighting in, top 10, has to be. Danilo Scar says, would you pay $99 on pay-per-view to see Wilder hit Vitaly Klitschko clean on the chin? What will be the outcome? You know, the funny thing is, obviously, Wilder, his power was actually quite scary, I can't lie to you. But that uppercut that Lennox Lewis hit Vitaly Klitschko with, and Vitaly Klitschko swallowed it, Boy. He is ferocious, by the way, Vitaly Klitschko. Ferocious. Shame about the injuries. Shame. Luke Whedon says, if AJ wins the rematch, how do you see the heavyweight division playing out over the next year? It'll be very, very interesting. It's not just about him winning the rematch. I think it's how he wins it. If he wins it, struggling, points decision, close, then I don't know. Not much changes in terms of my want for him versus Wilder Fury. If he goes in there and absolutely knocks out Ruiz, then he's back, right? But then you've got people like Pulev that is a mandatory waiting in the wings. You've got Usyk waiting in the wings. Dillian White with the situation, we'll find out, waiting in the wings. So we know, I think anyway, that 2020 is going to be uber exciting, but we'll see. Lionel Kashila says, Ade, if you had to sit down with one sports star, male or female, for 1 hour, face to face, who would it be? Maria Sharapova. All right, no, seriously. Who would it be? Mike Tyson. I think it would be Mike Tyson. The 80s Mike Tyson. I'd be scared, but the 80s Mike Tyson. The One says, which heavyweight has the best chin now and of all time? I think now Joseph Parker, and of all time, George Chuvalo. Anyway, always love the content. Now, best chin. Joseph Parker. Best chin. All of them are suspect, you know. All of these heavyweights are suspect. I do think, though, although he's staggered and wobbled, I do think of all the heavyweights, maybe I'm wrong here, help me out, guys, Deontay Wilder's never been down. Not in, I mean, as a pro. As an amateur, I think I've seen footage of him going down. But as a pro, has Deontay Wilder ever been knocked down? Don't think so. I don't think he has been. He's been hurt. We've seen him been hurt. But I don't think he's been knocked down where all the others have. Even Joseph Parker, who you mentioned. Of all time, boy, that is tough. I mean, they used to say things like Ken Norton had a great chin. You know, it's strange. This is me kind of moving away from the subject. A lot of the great heavyweights that I would consider having good chins, their chins got hit so much that when they kind of came to the end, they got hit with one shots and that was it. So people might discredit them. But Larry Holmes had a great chin, I think. Good question. Sorry, apologies. Chevin says, where are you going for vacation? Have you been to Cancun yet? My UK homies and I always do Cancun. I've been all over and nothing tops it. Contrary to popular belief. I have been to Cancun. I went to Cancun for spring break. I don't know how my missus even gave me the permission. I went there about 7 years ago and all the Americans came down. Woo! Boy, great times. Great times. It's weird because a lot of people think I do go on vacation. I don't. I actually travel to work. So it doesn't feel like vacation because I can't get smashed and drink. But I do want to go again. Somewhere I went, the best place I've ever been to in my life is Thailand. I can't lie to you. No ladyboy jokes, please. That was the best place I've ever been to in my life. Loved it. I do want to go, I'm getting old, people. I'm 38, so I do want to go to a more relaxing place. So the idea of a Cancun, my friends are actually going to Ibiza on Thursday. I can't do those places anymore. So something relaxing. Somewhere like a Bali. I'm boring, I know. Sorry. Ross Watson says, do you think the Fury Wilder rematch will definitely happen? Things have seemed to have gone quiet around it. If it doesn't happen, Fury could be up the shit creek without a paddle. I love our British sayings. Fighting C and D level opposition. It's gone quiet, isn't it? It's gone quiet. Remember, Fury announced the fight was going to happen on his little tour that he was doing February 22nd. I think the idea was that Ortiz-Wilder was supposed to happen in September, and then it made sense for them to fight in February. Now Ortiz-Wilder is happening in November. I have a feeling that the winner of Ortiz-Wilder could fight the winner of Ruiz-Joshua, which happens, 2 weeks after. Makes more sense. I don't know why Wilder wants to fight Fury so much. I would definitely wait to see who the winner is. The winner is of Ruiz-Joshua. If the winner is Ruiz, which it very well could be, it's an easy fight to make. Both of them are with Al Heyman, Showtime, PBC, all that shit. Easy fight. Why fight Fury? You get nothing out of it, apart from a lineal title. Connor Brennan says, I liked what you said about Hughie Fury, if he adds aggression to his game, I really think he would beat all British level fighters. Do you think he should jump straight in with Povetkin? I think he beats all the British level fighters as well. I think he beats the Gormans, Dubois, Allens, Prices, even Joe Joyce. Even, I think, maybe Chisora, possibly as well. I don't think he should jump in with Povetkin, no. I think Povetkin's an animal. I do. I think Povetkin is a beast. I think people forget, I don't know how much people rate Joshua now. You should still rate him, but people forget he caused Joshua some problems in those first sort of 2 or 3 rounds. And then Joshua started to work out the distance, then obviously landed those big shots. Povetkin's naughty. And I think Povetkin would eat Hughie Fury for lunch. So if I was him, I'll stay away from someone like Povetkin and maybe find someone in the top 20. There's loads of guys out there now, so you can definitely do it. Hoggy Boy 1967 says, have you watched Martin Bakole? And what are your thoughts on how good he is? I have watched him, and I was getting very high on him, and then he fought Michael Hunter. And I thought, but now he's signed back to Matchroom. They're trying to build him back up again. Let's see. The problem for Bakole is that heavyweight division now, there's so many good up-and-coming fighters that, again, he probably thought he could run through Hunter. Again, do you know what I mean? There's so many guys out there. So good luck to him. But I do like him. He seems like a nice guy. But good luck. How old is he as well? How old's Bakole? I hope he's about 23, 24. If he's about 29, then well, ain't going to happen. Jay Patani says, how do you see Fury and Wilder's game plans changing in the rematch? Do you think it'll be a more entertaining fight? Absolutely not. No, it can't be better than that first fight. They both will be a lot more cautious. They both are kryptonites to each other. Wilder don't want to fight a boxer. Fury doesn't want to fight a puncher. It's that simple. So it's like that. So all I know is that Fury doesn't want to be tagged like that again. He mentioned how hard Wilder hits. And Wilder doesn't want to be embarrassed like that again. So I think it's just going to be a standoff and it's going to be crap. Andy Agiru says, do you believe Tony Bellew has earned the right to be called one of the best British boxers in his era? Overall, not based exclusively on talent. No, not for me. Nah. I mean, what are we basing this on? Beating David Haye? Nah. I mean, look, I know people are going to say he won a world title, but it was a vacant world title against Makabu. I've seen Makabu up close and personal. Nah, not for me. Gabriel says, do you think Tunde is a genius or a scam artist? Is Anthony Yard a talent brainwashed by Tunde or made by Tunde? I don't think he's either a genius or a scam artist. He's not a scam artist. I mean, he just believes so much in his talent. I would want a trainer to believe in me as much as Tunde believes in Anthony Yard. That's what you want, right? You don't want your trainer being cautious with you. You want your trainer to be, and manager and friend, it looks like they're close, to be that confident in you. So yeah, I don't think he's a scam artist or a genius. I guess we'll all find out in about, 6 or 7 weeks? Less than that. 4 or 5 weeks. We'll find out, right? And even though, regardless of the outcome of that fight, again, that doesn't make him a genius or a scam artist. If he goes over there and Anthony Yard wins, that doesn't mean he's a genius. If Anthony Yard loses, definitely not a scam artist either. Blade, the best Marvel character, says, do you think Top Rank can get anywhere with Ramirez, Crawford, Loma, and Stevenson? Yeah, I do. It's not just them. They got others as well, you know. I mean, chucking Tyson Fury, chucking Teofimo Lopez, Oscar Valdez. They have a very, very good stable. A very good stable. And it's a very mixed stable as well. And I say that in terms of races as well. Very mixed. So I think Bob Arum's done well to kind of rebuild. I think, remember, this stable was so solely built on, Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao. Not anymore. I mean, he just mentioned there, Ramirez, Crawford. I mean, Crawford, Loma are number 1 and 2 pound for pound. I mean, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson were, I think, everyone's best young fighters or top prospects of 2018. And we saw what Ramirez done to Hooker. Oscar Pick says, Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney. Who wins if they were to fight this year? I'm going to go, I want to say Devin, but I think Teofimo is just a couple of steps in front. Like, they're already talking about Teofimo fighting for a world title against Loma. it's not going to happen. Although he's got that world title against Richard Coleman. Let's see what he does. But I think Teofimo is maybe just 1 or 2 steps in front of Devin Haney for now. Great fight down the line though. Muhammad Laroussi says, if the B sample comes back positive for Dillian White, do you think he'll get a ban? Hell to the motherfucking yes. I mean, it's not even a ban. It will be difficult for him to come back. I think because he was so vocal about other cheats, if it comes back that this guy's cheated, God, boy, good luck. Blade, the best Marvel character, asks again, how do you rank these prospects? Ortiz Jr., Virgil Ortiz, very good fighter. Javonte Davis, Inoue, Shakur, Lopez, Garcia, Haney. Inoue is number 1, like with a gap, I think. Tank, number 2. Virgil Ortiz, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, and Ryan Garcia. I'm not quite sure about him yet. I'm not quite sure. Lampoost Jackson says, Ade, smashing it in YouTube at the moment. Keep it up. My question is, what do you make of KSI trying out boxing? I personally think his boxing skills are embarrassing, but what's your take? I think they're a joke. I think they're very embarrassing. But what I will say to that, about them being embarrassing, he obviously is trained by like top guys. You see him now going to gym, learning different things from, I think, Roger Mayweather. I think he's been with Chris Eubank. He's got his own professional trainer. And his skills look embarrassing. That's how difficult boxing is. Like, it's so difficult. It's scary. I mean, I don't know. You can go to your local leisure center and try and hit. Most of them now have gym bags. Just try and hit a very good 1-2 on the gym bag. I mean, it's not easy. So, I mean, credit to him for trying. But yeah, if he wants to try and take this seriously, I think he should just stick to fighting YouTubers. That's what he should do. Not me, just other YouTubers. Haida Khan says, hey, Ade, what are your tattoos of and why did you get them? I've got so many. My friend that passed away, I was a bit naughty when I was young, so I had a few naughty friends, but unfortunately this is my friend, my best friend Olu, that passed away. I've got Che Guevara up there. I've got Power to the People tattoo there. I've got some Bible writing there. I've got my dad on a Mercedes here. In God we trust. I've got loads, Forever Blessed. Got all over. But you know what it is? I started getting tattoos when I was like 16. I'm 38 now. So it was before they became this fashionable thing to do. So most of my tattoos, unfortunately or fortunately, are not like the best piece of artwork you're ever going to see. It was actually an old white man in Forest Gate. This guy must be about 70. And he was, I was like, oh, you're doing this, Ben. It's not straight. So, but I wasn't really doing it for fashion or style back then. I was doing it because I just wanted to get them. That was it. My mum didn't think the same and kicked me out. Jack Payne says, great content, Ade. Love the hustle and the work. My question regarding the punishment of people who have been tested positive for banned substances. I think bans that occur on the length of not being able to fight are not good enough on their own. For me, I'd love to introduce a purse sanction on fighters. For example, if you're found guilty, fighters tested positive lose the right to be in a voluntary title defense, and the mandatory purse of 25% has to be cut to 10%. And if they win a title, their future purse has to hold 10% to VADA UCAD to invest in more fighters being tested. Okay, I get your stance. You're basically talking about a financial thing. Yeah, it has to come down to money. Has to come, but not even that. For me, what they should do, I think I remember they done this to Dwayne Chambers in athletics. He tested positive and he had to back pay. Could be wrong here. I think it was something like 18 months, or it could have been a year's worth of money that he had made from the sport. So imagine, for example, like Canelo, who tested positive in the lead up to the second fight against GGG. Imagine they said to Canelo, yeah, you're going to have to pay back a year's earnings. What's that, 60 million? That would then deter people, some people anyway. Base the Kid says, VADA tweeted and deleted that Michael Hunter and Sergey Kuzmin had been signed up for testing ahead of a fight. Who do you think wins that and how? Yeah, we know the fight's been signed now. Matchroom, I think, released a statement about it as well. I love that fight. I'm going for Michael Hunter all the way. I like Kuzmin. I watched him. I was there for the Kuzmin-David Price fight, but he's fucking slow on his feet. Michael Hunter isn't. Michael Hunter's fast, he's spiteful, and has a lot of power for a cruiserweight coming up. So I'm going Michael Hunter to actually stop him as well. Avi Skoll says, have you had any experience inside the ring? Yes, I did a bit of amateur boxing for Newham Boys Club, but again, boy, I don't know how many of you are Nigerian watching this or African, but nah. What? Boxing? Nope, nope. So my mum, to be fair to her, I think she made the right decision, to be honest. She said either football, basketball, boxing, so I chose football, basketball, and I think athletics. I was very, very sporty when I was young, so boxing was almost like 5th or 6th choice. Impodium says, hi Ade, keep up the great videos. Thank you, brother. Do you have any tips for someone trying to get more into UFC? Do you use the UFC Fight Pass? Is it worth it? I don't use the UFC Fight Pass. Yeah, I'm just stingy. But in terms of getting into UFC, I mean, you've got to watch guys online like Ariel Helwani has ESPN MMA. Luke Thomas has his own channel. Brendan Schaub is a bit of a shithead, but he's got his own channel. Joe Rogan always has MMA guests. So just get the knowledge first. I mean, these guys give out so much information for free, and then obviously you can watch the fights. Next question is also, if it comes out that Dillian Whyte was using some sort of steroid, do you think he should lose his mandatory spot for the WBC? He should, but then I guess the argument's going to be made, look at Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz tested positive. I think the WBC banned him for all of like 2 months. Then, I don't know, a few months later he fought Deontay Wilder. So, I mean, I don't know. It's not fair, is it? Blade, the best Marvel character, says, do you think Tank versus Berchelt is a way better fight than Loma versus Tank? Or are you sleeping on Berchelt as well? I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. He's talking about Miguel Berchelt, the WBC super featherweight champion, that no one is mentioning. Tevin Farmer done an in-ring interview, didn't mention him. Gervonta Davis done an in-ring interview, didn't mention him. He, for me, is the #1 super featherweight in the world. Facts. Objective Incision says, who would win from Herbie Hyde versus Dillian Whyte? Everyone forgets about Herbie Hyde. Everyone talks about British boxing, always forgets about Herbie Hyde, the man from Norwich. I would say Dillian Whyte. I think Herbie Hyde was a very small heavyweight. Did he not fight a cruiserweight, or was that before? I'm sure he fought a cruiserweight as well. Scott Welch versus pre-Tony Thompson, David Price. I like the way you say pre-Tony Thompson, David Price. I would go David Price. That was a very confident, strong David Price. The kid that we see now is just not that guy. Or pre-Tony Thompson. Or post-Tony Thompson, sorry. Anthony Joshua versus Henry Akinwande. 2 Nigerians on this list. Or 3 Nigerians on this list. AJ. Callum Gallagher says, if Lomachenko was a natural welterweight, how do you see a fight between him and Crawford playing out? So basically, you're telling me Lomachenko, 4 inches taller and a bit bigger. Yeah, I think we know how that one will play out. I like Bud, but Bud ain't competing with that. FSW Media, so Football Southwest Media, says, hi Ade, if when doing your TV work, your broadcaster told you that you could get any person you would like to be a co-commentator to call boxing with you, who would it be? Ooh. Very split between Max Kellerman and Paulie. I think Paulie would be more fun. I think Max has become, since he's joined ESPN, he's a bit more rigid, a bit like straight down the line. Paulie just says what he wants to say, doesn't give a fuck. So I think Paulie would definitely be the man. And then he goes and say, your success is greatly inspirational. I've been a fan of Box Talk from 2013-14. Bloody hell, is that when we started? Jeez. And regularly would send emails over to the walking boxing encyclopedia that is Ryan. I hope you have more and more success. Best wishes. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. Education Pay says, yo, Ade, love your videos, bro. Where did you get the shirt you had on in your Huey Fury video? What shirt was that? Huey Fury. Oh, that one, Levi's. And also, I know you get pissed about drug cheats, but trust me, most of them are on it. In fact, my mate had sparred several British level fighters, and I won't mention names, but the fighter told my friend that everyone is on it. But how it works is before you sign the contract, you say, okay, he's on this and this, and you're on that, and then you agree. Fucking, that makes me feel sick. Makes me feel sick. And then he goes on to say, Tyson said everyone's on it. Malignaggi said everyone's on it. So did Nate Diaz, or Nick Diaz. I think it was Nate. Nate said it at the press conference with Conor McGregor. Osin Zico says, hi Ade, why is Tyson Fury rated the #1 heavyweight when he has 1 win over a top 10 opponent, in brackets Klitschko, compared to Wilder, AJ, Parker, Ruiz, White, or any of the top 10 guys? I think it's because when he left the sport, he was considered the number one, i.e. beating the man that was the man in Vladimir Klitschko. And I think 99% of people think he beat Deontay Wilder. I don't know how that counts though, because officially it was a draw. But I think most people, including myself, probably counting it as a win. So now people are saying he beat Klitschko and he beat Wilder. And he travelled to both of their home countries to do it. Don't get me wrong, it's an achievement. It is an achievement. Jose from the Live says, who do you think would win a catchweight fight between Ahara Davis and Tion Booth? Them two hate each other, don't they? Ahara Davis. Brad Smith says, do you think boxing would benefit from having just one belt per division like in the UFC? I don't think the belts are the problem in boxing. They almost make exciting fights. You've got a champion over there, and they meet. I just think it's all the TV networks. I mean, this Terence Crawford situation is a clear example of that. Terence Crawford's over there as a champion. Errol Spencer's over here as a champion. They can't mate. That's the problem. So it isn't necessarily the belts, I think. That random guy says, how far do you think Charlie Edwards can go in the flyweight division? Do any of the current champions have the power to unify? I don't think he can go very far at all. I've done a video on this talking about some of the Mexican kids and the guys in Asia. Frightening. I mean, good luck to Charlie Edwards, but I can't see it. Rooney8 MUFC says, what happens in the AJ Ruiz rematch and who wins? Please give a percentage, i.e. whether it's 50-50, 60-40, and in whose favour. I would say it's 60-40 in Ruiz's favour. I would actually go a bit further and say 70-30 Ruiz, but I'm going to say 60-40 because I think the fight's going to happen in the UK. AJ got beat up. No excuses, he got beat up. It's a disgrace, says, who you got winning the Prem from a neutral fan standpoint? City, unfortunately, because they're just monsters. Ian Ward says, what's your thoughts on Caleb Plant as a boxer and who wins out of him and David Benavidez? I love this channel. I like Caleb Plant a lot. It's weird because over here, I think we're so fixated on Billy Joe Saunders and Callum Smith as being the number 1 and 2 maybe super middleweights in the world, and I don't think they are. And that's because of Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. Although Benavidez needs to sort out his fucking outside issues. I think he got arrested recently for drag racing. I know he was out of the sport a while for taking cocaine, I think it was. But I think both of those guys are a threat to these English guys. I'd love to see that matchup. Some sort of semi-final between those lot would be good. Mojo says, it's weird how no fighter wants to fight Crawford. I don't know why, but I just find it so strange how whenever someone's interviewed and asked about him, they claim they're not interested or just wouldn't mention him at all. What's your view on it? I don't think they're scared of Crawford. Crawford doesn't have that massive fear factor, right? You wouldn't think of Crawford as a boogeyman, like a crazy puncher or anything like that. So I don't think it's fear. I just think they've been told to say they don't want anything to do with anyone that's not kind of within the PBC banner. Spence is happily fighting. Spence will fight Crawford. Spence isn't scared of Crawford. Nor is Porter. Sean Porter not so. Danny Garcia was supposed to fight, and there were big rumours about that fight happening. Fell through. So I don't think they're scared. I just think that they just know it ain't going to happen. So why talk about it? They're not going to go over the top rank, and Terence Crawford's not going to come over to PBC. Tyson Saunders says, if Kubrat Pulev has to fight Agit Kabayel for the IBF title, who wins? I'm going to go with Pulev. I think we underrate Pulev a bit. I think Pulev is still very much serviceable. Only one loss, and that was to Klitschko. Do you remember that fight where Klitschko just knocked him out with a hook? Clean out. Anonymous says, question, do you think that Anthony Joshua should fight more regularly? I do. Peace out. That's my ending. I do think he should. I mean, AJ has 2 fights a year. 2 fights a fucking year. Sunny Singh says, what do you think about Adam Booth's view on drug cheats having to compensate the other fighter rather than just serving a fine and paying fees to other relevant parties? 100%. It doesn't make any sense. So you go in there with me and you pretty much damage my brain cells, me, and for some reason you're paying the fine to the sanctioning body or to who else? Why is that money not going to my pocket? You have been hitting me and punching me with drugs in your system. How do I get compensated? And just turning the fight to a no contest isn't compensation enough. Absolute crap. Durrell Carter says, ringside for AJ versus Wilder or ringside for Yard versus Kovalev? AJ versus Wilder. I ain't going Russia. Hi, Ade. Personal question. How much do you get paid from YouTube and for working for Fox. I might do a video and tell you guys how much I get paid from YouTube, because a lot of people do ask me. It ain't a lot, trust me. For Fox, I can't really tell you that. That's my personal money. But I do feel like YouTube is because of you guys. So I will do a YouTube video talking about my income, 100%. I might do it next week, actually. You'll be shocked. Not in a good way. Well, depends, actually. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. All right, last couple of questions because I'm getting tired and I want to eat. Big C says, what do you think about Jon Jones not wanting to move up weight? He's done everything he can at light heavyweight. I think he'll beat DC at heavyweight, but won't be able to take Ngannou power. And that would be the next fight heavyweight for Jones if he did move up. I mean, that for me, Jon Jones not wanting to move up to heavyweight is, I think, telltale signs that he was on something before. Before, he was very like, yeah, I'll move up. If the fight's right and you get paid enough money, I'll move up. Now it's like, no, I can't give up that much weight. Yeah. John, sorry. And you're right, Ngannou, they're too big now. They're too big. I mean, but then again, Jon Jones probably walks around at about 240 pounds. Then again, Ngannou is massive. No, you can't compete with Ngannou. CJPA says, how well do you think prime Marcus Maidana would have done against the welterweight champions today? I don't know, but I would love to have seen prime Marcus Maidana versus prime Margarito. Brick versus fucking brick. Reese Davies says, how much of a tennis fan are you? And who do you think will win the US Open? Huge tennis fan. And I'm going for Djokovic and Serena Williams, unfortunately. All right, last two questions. Original Individual says, who is the worst to watch, Joe Joyce or Hughie Fury? Joe Joyce. Fuck me. Paint dry. I'm actually painting this wall in the next couple of days. That would be like watching Joe Joyce. I hope no one sees that and sends this out to Adam Booth. But I don't mean, it's not that bad. It just, I find it quite boring. Only one Eon says, is Eddie Hearn good or safe for the sport of boxing, or ruining it by selling its soul with excessive pay-per-views and chatting non-stop BS? He's great for boxing. Come on, let's be honest, people. Picture what it was like in your head, British boxing, before this Eddie Hearn IFL TV thing. So it's not just Eddie. IFL will take a great chunk of success in it as well. But remember what it was. To you, you don't, do you? It was that bad. That's why you don't remember. Eddie Hearn, as much as people might diss him and say all the things about him, is giving it such a breath of fresh air that you can't be mad. You can't. Oh my God, there are so many more questions. I feel bad. All right, let's do a couple more. It's gonna go random. It's gonna go doop random. Football King says, what is your opinion on Tony Ferguson as a fighter? His personality and fighting style. Tony Ferguson, UFC fighter. Fight as a fighter, fantastic. Personality, strange. Fighting style, phenomenal. If I was to have, you know, when people talk about, there was a lot of these Area 51 jokes going around, like who could you take or want to take into Area 51? He's right at the top of the list. Someone else asked me, I feel bad. There's too many questions. Don't know what to do. Shit. Stefan Broom says, what's the biggest rematch? AJ versus Ruiz or Wilder versus Fury? AJ versus Ruiz all day. And what pay-per-view numbers do you think both will do? AJ versus Ruiz over here does 2 million. It could 2.5. 2.5. Fury versus Wilder won't do 1 million pay-per-view buyers in the US. But bear in mind, the US is a bit more in terms of their... But even if it was the same amount, so if Fury versus Wilder was £25 and AJ versus Ruiz was £25, think about this. Okay, ask this question yourself. If they were both on at exactly the same time, what fight would you watch? AJ Ruiz, come on. Yeah, shit. Rashidi Saidi says, what's the meaning of life? Love. Happiness, bit of money. Oh man. LaRouche Kiani says, what happens if Amir Khan beats Kell Brook? Peace.